Today we are having the organelle quiz. I just want to see where we're at with that. We should be fine, I'm hoping. And then I have an organelle Quizlet that I wouldn't mind us practicing on, and I'll show you how to find it today. So I would have an organelle Quizlet, and then we'll do our organelle quiz 7.3, and then this is what kind of stopped us. I have a microscope Quizlet as well, and we are going to be working on the microscopes on Tuesday, and it's going to take us probably half the block, at least 45 to 50 minutes. So I want to make sure that you know at least the parts of the microscope, and I really do not want to be rushed. So that's why we're going the way we went with it. So Miss Mahana, do you want to go over the bell work? I'm going to take attendance. We should have you one too. I don't know how they'd piggyback it.
Why is surface area to volume important with a cell? Anybody think they got that answer? Ooh, we got nobody.
To determine how small or big it is, right? No?
Yes.
Isn't it, it has something to do with how it transfers. I can't remember exactly what.
He's almost there.
Almost there. Getting there.
I see. Wait, chill. No, I don't. Never mind. Oh. Never mind. It's just about 4 words.
This comes this one back to you. This door is supposed to be shut at all times because it's at home.
I was just waving to you, little
I
wife,
know.
to say
Just waiting
hello.
for me.
It's an exchange substances more efficient.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
Good
right.
job.
Repeat it.
Exchange substances more quickly.
Good. We'll go with that.
Hey, what about my efforts? Should I give feedback?
You've been bugging people today, so no.
All right, say now what the Greek word is. L. L. What? Like organelle.
Parts of the organ.
Parts of the cell.
Alex, what did you say?
What did I say? Parts of the organ, organelle, whatever.
What kind of parts?
Like the
Small.
amino acids.
Big part.
What
make it
Small. Sweet.
Yeah.
I got it right.
So,
Small parts.
I changed it to not like this.
Was like big or small. But think of the organelle. The parts of the cell, are they big or are they small? They're tiny, they're small, okay? So then we're going to review for your organelle quiz. Should I just go ahead and give them laptops? Or
Yeah.
Chromebooks, yeah. Trevor, your guys' row and Zach's row. You guys can go get Chromebooks.
Now, Mike, we didn't say your row.
What are you doing, Alex?
JC and Bry's row, you guys can go.
Just blow my nose.
Oh, I thought you were running now.
Why would I run?
I don't know. What did he say?
Humble jumble.
I said, why would I run?
Mike and Bill, y'all can get one.
Oh, Savannah's on a college visit today.
what?
Jake is a good man. He said Irish. Maybe he hires
When you guys log in, you're gonna go to Mrs. Eccles' page.
I'll put it up on the screen. I have no idea. I never use them.
Mine's different. Doesn't mine look different? Mine.
Worry more about signing in than the look.
That's mad weird.
Yeah, I changed the format.
All right, so go to my webpage here. And then on there, off to the side here, you've got animal cell Quizlet, animal cell 2 Quizlet, plant cell Quizlet. And then if you click it on, if you click it on, here's the animal cell. I would go like with learn. I keep on. So it's going to give you, well, this one's a little bit different on this one, but. So it's both site, and then it's going to give you what the parts as well and what they do, okay? So I want you guys to go through and practice that.
Animal stuff.
Yeah, and there's 2 animal cells on there. So you've got animal cell Quizlet, and then
Yeah, make sure you know the function as well.
What's their job?
Isn't this one? Animal cell? Yes. So there's 2 of them.
there's 2 of them because they don't let you put any more than 8 organelles at a time.
Wait, animal cell Quizlet, right?
Yes.
Oh, I get it.
And then animal cube. Yeah.
Right here?
Animal cell.
Then what do we do?
Doesn't matter.
Just kind of go through and practice it.
Okay.
And go to the learn part of it.
Get your little foldable out chain.
There you go. Let's do the learn.
Did you go to? It's on her page. Just
And try to.
it says animal cell.
What?
So I get out the foldable.
So,
So if I
Do you have
review,
your foldable?
yes.
come on down, I just learn to be a lot part of the jobs. So go on down. Scroll down.
I'm advanced. Wait, this, but this?
Well, for your
What is it do?
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot about the jobs, not your folder.
So this isn't better.
So you can do one of
Fun
2
though.
things too. I said you guys could do learn, or you can also come down here.
Or quiz all multiple choice.
Yeah.
It's matching.
No, put it back up.
I was like, chitter chatter.
You guys can also, after, if you don't want to do the learn part, you can also come down here. So look up here. Oh, there. You can also come down here, and here's the different definitions too.
I come down here.
No picture on it?
No, maybe on your task, but this is a nice review. You can have it. But you were-
Cytoskeleton. Cell keep its shape organized
So
in
hit
parts
the bottom.
and made in
Yeah.
What's it called? Mac, but- I haven't learned how to properly print out the-
You were at home.
What?
You were at home.
Well, I do like before test sometimes.
Well, stay on there. I'll keep it on that first.
That would help.
When you get done with like that animal cell, I'd go back and do animal cell 2. I would do the plant cell as well. So I'd go back to the profile page, and there's an animal cell 2, and there's a plant cell.
I'm in third place. Whatever that means.
What?
nuclear less.
You know, that's from the bottom one.
I didn't know spell was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have it? Yeah, this is.
Trevor, did you finish your homework?
If I didn't, I would have just a little.
Okay, what I'm thinking is, when we give the homework out, if they haven't finished it, they can work.
Would you mean like this, like colored like half?
Okay, so that's why I'm just trying to get a feel for who, you know what I mean, Mrs.? Cause I knew you told me.
Are we getting homework after our quiz? Or are we taking it?
We're gonna have to do our 7.3, which is very short. Then we're gonna do our microscope Quizlet. I wanna get that done today, and then we'll go.
They quiz it live?
We might, I don't know, we might do that. So I'm gonna give you about 3 to 4 more minutes on this, and then we're gonna go ahead and take your quiz here. And if you wanna study your foldable now, if you wanna go off of the Quizlet, but this is what I want you to do. Keep your computer. Because we're gonna be using this pretty quick. Again, so if you wanna go off of your, if you wanna study now for the next 3 to 4 minutes on your foldable, you can. Or you can continue your Quizlet, but if you're done with your computer, you put it off to the side here.
I'm bigger than going off.
No, because he's gonna, I want you to see it by yourselves. I just want to see. coming in now. We got about 30 seconds.
Hannah, what happened?
Trevor needs to study.
She said her part is got.
Where can you find the podcast?
All right, guys, go ahead, shut down your little Chromebooks, put them off to the side on the right-hand side, put away your foldable. I want you to keep them because we're going to use them again. So put them off to the side, shut them, put them off to the side, put your foldable away.
Judgment.
And Miss Mahana's going to go ahead, pass out your organelle quiz. When you are done with it, I need it put up there, face down.
That's it.
Shh. All right. So everybody should be getting their quiz. When you're done, get it up here. And then you guys need to get out your notes as well. She isn't.
Do you think that Hanson Tiger would let his hair go?
No. Just let it dry out. Go back to your seat.
Can I sit up here one day?
Nope.
Not today, but like one day.
Back to your seat.
Tonight? Or may I?
At least back to your-
Hey, Mike, I need you to turn around here. And Trevor, I need you to sit up properly. We still have people taking the quiz. Thank you. I just need you to be quiet there now. All right. All right, guys, let's get out our section 3 notes here.
Use the restroom.
I have somebody out, so let me. There you go. So when he gets back, he can. All right, so for a couple of things here, we are going to get started on section 3. If I tell you to star something, that probably means that's important. So everybody should have out your notes. So everybody should have out your notes, and I'm going to get this started here. So the first thing is section 2, remember, is just your foldable. Section 2 is your foldable. So you have nothing there except it says to see foldable. So just be aware of that. Section 3 deals with diversity, deals with your diversity in cells. Like, what's different between the prokaryote and the eukaryote? So what's different? Like, Dawson, give me a difference.
The prokaryote doesn't have a nucleus.
Good. The prokaryote is not going to have a nucleus. And really, your big example is bacteria. Perfect. So your prokaryote is no nucleus. Your big example there is bacteria. Yep. So the next one here so your next thing is having like, can they move? Do they have the ability to move? All of that.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 different features here. You've got flagella, you've got pili, and you've got cilia. You have to add in there the cilia. Okay? So you have to add in for section on that next part, you're on section 3, you have to add in there cilia. So please do that right now. So you've got 1 and 2, there's no number 3, add cilia.
Section 3, guys.
Section 3.
You want me to hit the lights?
All right, so for bacteria cell, there may or may not be 3 different features. Sometimes there's these 3 features, sometimes they only have 1, sometimes they have 2 of them. It just depends. Number 1 and 3, this one and this one, I want you to write, this is for movement only. So 1 and 3 is movement. That's it. For them to be able to move, they've got to be in the water. Or they've got to be in like a water environment. So for them to be able to move, they have to be in the water. Or a water environment. In your book, they may call something a flagellum instead of flagella. That's just the plural. Flagella is plural. Usually you've got more than one. Cilia, these are hairs and they're all over them. And I'll show you that in a minute. Pili is for attachment. I would highlight that or circle that or something like that. That's to attach to surfaces. The pili is to attach to surfaces. Highlight that. Bacteria are your smallest organism. They are your smallest cells. And they are the smallest organism, hands down. And some people will ask me about viruses. Viruses are not considered living. Viruses are not considered living. Well, it's because they used to say, there used to be 2 schools of thought. Some said viruses were living, some said they weren't. Viruses have DNA and they do have protein. However, viruses, like if they're in the carpet, they're not going to do anything. But if they get in a host cell, like if a cold virus, if you pick up a cold virus from the desk and it gets into your cells, then they will cause that cold. But they need your cells in order to be able to do anything. That's why they consider them non-living. They can't just go on their own. A bacteria can. So bacterium are the smallest known. A bacteria is the size of an organelle. So if you look in your book, if you happen to have your book on page 163, and if you look at mitochondrion, which happens to be blue, the mitochondrion, that's the size of a bacteria cell. So a bacteria cell is as small as any organelle. So they have to be able to attach to something. Because if they can't attach to something, they're going to get washed away. So in your intestines, you've got good bacteria. And they attach to your intestines so that they're not washed away. Here's an example of both the cilia and the flagella. So if you guys look over here, you've got, this is the cilia. You look at all these little hairs. we would not be able to see that in the microscope. Like when we look at our microscope or on Tuesday, we're not going to be able to see that. This would be under an electron microscope. Here are the flagella. Usually you've got more than one. This one happens to have 4. So, and they rotate. They go like this. They rotate, the flagella. The cilia go like this. They can't go backwards, so it's not like they can do the backstroke, but they'd have to go all the way around to turn themselves around. So diversity in eukaryote, hopefully you've got this. You've got, between the plant and the animal cell, there are 3 different structures. Large vacuole, cell wall, and chloroplast, and you have to list all of them. Do not put away your notes, because I need to add one thing to them. So an animal cell does not have a cell wall. There are no animal cells that do. There are no. Did I ask one? Yeah. Okay. So there are no animal cells that have a cell wall. If I were to ask you that on your test, do animals have a cell wall? You'd have to say no or false. None of them do. So that's a huge difference between a plant and an animal cell. We don't have a cell wall.
No.
Question: do bacteria have cell walls?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Has anybody ever had a bacterial infection that you had to have an antibiotic for?
Strep count.
Yeah. Strep. So let me tell you how you get rid of them. Animal cells have no cell wall. We're considered an animal cell. We have no cell wall. Bacteria cells do. So what that antibiotic or the medicine that you take, it interrupts or destroys the cell wall of that bacteria cell. If it's destroyed, it's not going to work. So that's how we get rid of them. So any animal cell, like pretty pups have been on antibiotics before. Any animal cell has no cell wall. That's why you can take an antibiotic. Plants have chloroplasts. We can't do photosynthesis. Plants can. Therefore, they've got chloroplasts. There's your little example here. One example.
You back.
I can go back to this one.
Yeah, I
Okay. And then just let me know.
I'm good.
And then the very last thing here are levels of organization. On the levels of organization, for the example, just write one example. If I've got more than one, just write one example. So on the levels of organization, just write one example.
Like just find like one.
So I've like basic unit of life, example, simple squamous. But you see down at organ, I've got lung, heart, and skin. I'd write one example there. You have to
That's
add
what I
it.
was thinking. I was gonna do.
So just add it right below.
Only one.
Do all of them. But there's a couple, there's
Big
like Oregon has 3 examples. Just write in one.
We have to write all these down.
Yeah, these are your levels of organization. So you need to write all of them down. And I actually kept it simple because I started at the basic unit of life, which is the cell. I could have gone back up to atom. You have to add this under your. I could have gone back to atom and then gone from that to molecule, biomolecule, organelle, and then cell. But I started. you look here, cells are your basic unit of life. In other words, they can carry out every single job. They can make their own energy. They can take in water, take in food, they can get rid of wastes, they can make proteins. So that's why we say cells are the basic unit of life. And they're doing, collectively, they're trying to do a job, which is to keep us functioning. Tissue is a group of cells together doing one job. So different cells are working together, they're doing one job. Epithelial happens to be a skin tissue. That's your skin. And together, the simple squamous, cuboidal, columnar, we're going to actually look at simple squamous underneath the microscope on Tuesday. The simple squamous, the columnar, cuboid, those are all working together to make the epithelial and to do that job of protection. Organ is a group of tissues doing one job. So like skin, different nerve, glands, they're all working together that that skin would do one job. Organ system, a group of organs. The integumentary system is the skin system. They're all working together. The integumentary system works with the skin, works with other things to help us protect us. Organ systems working together. So we are an organism. Plants would be another one. Pretty pups are one. Question. When I'm talking about the levels of organization, am I talking multicellular or unicellular, one cell? Multi, it has to be multicellular. So when I'm talking, because if it's one cell, it's just one cell. There's no tissues, there's nothing else there with it. All right, put all that stuff away. Get back out your Chromebooks. Go back to my webpage. Go back to my webpage. So you're going to have to get out of the Quizlet. And you're going to have to go back to my webpage, and you're going to have to go through you're going to have to go to the microscope one. So get out of that Quizlet, go back to my webpage, and go to the one that says Microscope Quizlet. Did you find that? Microscope Quizlet. So you're back at my profile page.
Can we click learn?
So on the Microscope Quizlet, let me kind of show you what it is, what side I want you to go to. So everybody look up here. You're going to go to the side that says the compound microscope. You're going to go to the side that says compound microscope. And you need to fill in that diagram using the Quizlet, and then tell me what each part does using the Quizlet. When you are done with that, you're going to bring it up to me or Miss Mahanna, and we'll give you the homework. And then at that point, if you are not done with your little cell city, maybe coloring it or something, then at that point is when you get it done. Okay? Questions? Good. Yeah, I would click learn on that. So go to the microscope, Quizlet, and click learn. Click, click, learn.
Just my life.
ever to find that stuff.
How are we doing this one? For leaves?
Yeah. This is a nice little way.
Why it's quiet?
No, because I'm not up there just giving you the information.
We're learning ourselves.
Yes, it is. No, that's right.
Are we ever gonna be looking at any cells?
What?
Are we gonna look at any
In
cells?
simple squamous, you're gonna look at that cell. And then we'll look at probably like the allodia cells, which are plant cells. Let's put it in.
Start going with that.